to check to see if this thing has any oil. I think we just found a diamond in the rough. Oh, that's not good.
Guys, we did it again. I bought another car, this time a 1982 C3 Corvette for $3,000. Now you might think that's a lot of money for this pile of crap, but wait till you see what's under the hood. That's right, baby. This barn find Corvette has an LS1 in it. That's right, all aluminum LS1. But the main caveat for this build is, well, it doesn't run. I mean, look at it. It looks like this thing's been sitting in a dirt field for 10 years. There is so much grime everywhere, like, it doesn't make any sense. LS swaps have been around for so long now, you could literally find barn finds with LS engines now. How sick is that?
Now this is a very special car for us because this is what really started Backspeed Boys back in the day. So my first ever V8 project car that I ever bought was a really ratty C3 Corvette for $1,700. Now me and Lenny worked on that car all summer long, and we turned it from a pile of junk rotting in someone's front yard into a fun car to drive. It gave me and Lenny the fundamental skills that we still use every single day. And fast forward many years later, and now we got a bunch of shit boxes. But now that we got the shop, the tools, the skills, a little more money, and a few connections, now it's time to build the C3 that we always wanted. We always wanted to do an LS swap on that car, and now it's already done. But of course, this car is far from being road ready. It doesn't even start. When you push it around, there's no brakes. The pedal goes all the way to the floor. It's a big pile. So we got to get to work.
Like Noah said, this was essentially the build that started it all for us. And now we're back, full circle moment right here. And the old build that we initially did was a flip, and this one's gonna be no different. With LS swap cars, just a quick Google search, going between $40,000 and $80,000 in decent condition. This thing has the bones. We just gotta put it back together, make it look really nice. And not only are we gonna have an awesome build that I'm absolutely gonna love, this is a prime example of a rip it and flip it car. This is going to be a monumental flip if we can pull it off, if we can get the motor running, if we can get the car sound enough to drive on public roads. I think there's a lot of money that could be made, but there's definitely a lot of work to do. So let's dig into the car, shall we? Problem number one, the car is completely filthy and there's definitely some minor body damage all around the car. Problem number two, the chrome on the wheels are absolutely peeling. Someone tried to spray paint over it. The car looks like it's been sitting in a barn or like a field for 10 years. It's in terrible condition. Problem number three, parts of the car are primered, which isn't really great, and it's also missing the Corvette logo. Problem number four, this door doesn't latch. We're gonna have to fix that. Problem number five, the interior actually is in pretty decent shape, but the steering rack isn't supposed to do that, and it looks like they left the windows open for the 10 years it was sitting outside. It's gonna need a thorough detail. Problem number six, the engine bay is absolutely terrible looking. I mean, there's spider webs, cobwebs all over the place. There's duct tape on the intake. There's no proper filter. Ow. Ow. Just from it being parked for a few days, it leaks almost every fluid in this engine bay, and the power steering is bone dry. So that's not good. This engine bay is gonna need a lot of attention, not only to make it look nice, but to make it run. Problem number seven, looks like someone's already tried to repair these T-tops, and they did a terrible job. When you close the door, it literally doesn't line up all the way, and this is the window all the way up. So these are definitely gonna leak a ton of water into the interior if it rains. Now, if you guys have seen our videos before, you know we're not clean freaks, and this car is so gross and filthy, before we can even work on it, we're gonna have to give it a bath. So let's clean this bitch. All right, now that the car is like a little bit clean, let's take a look at all the crap on the inside of the car. The interior of this car isn't that bad when it comes to like leather and trim. This is pretty bad, but overall it's just really dirty. But there's a lot of crap in here, so I want to try to get all that crap out before we vacuum. Right off the bat, guys, there's a radio looking thing in the back here. And there's a, what is this? A 4 gigabyte SD card with some music in it. We're gonna have to check that out. This is a really wacky ass CD drive. We have the rear view mirror, which is missing, so that's nice. And then you have these little doors right here. So in the Corvette, this is where the battery is, and then there's another one, and there's just a, oh gosh, there's just a bunch of junk in here. So what do we got here? We got the front to a Oh, is that the front to that radio? Maybe. We have, ooh, this thing's covered in spider webs, dude. I don't know what this is. Oh, they go together. I don't know. If you know what this is, leave it in the comments. That's pretty weird. We have some power cords. We have a charger that's missing a prong. And then here, what's this paper right here? Ooh. It's so greasy, it's like see-through. Central Tire Services. Yeah. Looks like it's from 2002. Yeah, that's gross. We're gonna be throwing that away. These tires are shot, like, anyways. There's just some other miscellaneous junk in here. It looks like someone at some point, yeah, put a sound system in and did a very terrible job. There's a nice fuse that, there's a fuse that goes to literally nowhere with some tape on it. That all seems sketchy. What is this? Oh, man. That might be the weirdest find we found on this channel. This is pretty weird. I probably shouldn't have put that on. This is going on the wall. What is this? Oh, this is the... Oh, that's what was missing from here, I think. This either goes here or it goes somewhere else on the car. That's pretty cool. Is there anything else down here? Ooh, we got carpet trim. I got some, we got another Corvette logo and a door handle thingy. Here, let's check the other side. Anything else back here? Ooh, what is this? It is a fancy looking bolt. I don't know what that is. We got some very vintage looking Band-Aids. Anything underneath the seat, you think? I don't see anything over here. This is open? Nothing in here. Ooh, someone's been modifying this shit. There's a big cutout hole right here. We have a vintage Band-Aid box. So we have a ski mask and Band-Aids. Oh. Well, what do we have here? I would expect nothing less out of a C3 Corvette owner. This is a Marlboro Red. I knew it. Knew it right when I saw it. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Oh! This might be the craziest find we ever found in a car. A wine cork. It's like someone was drinking in the passenger seat. Some real Corvette owner activities, if you ask me.
They like to party.
Yeah, they do like to party. Let's get all this junk out of the car. Let's vacuum it up and get it on the lift. I'm dying to see the underside of this car, and I'm dying to try to get this motor running. I want to hear it start up.
You know, the fun part of buying really old cars is looking underneath them. This is where we find all the things that give you the buyer's remorse. We'll see if we get that this time around. So first things first, we got some mufflers and they got the quad tips. They're kind of rusted out, so we're gonna have to polish these up, make them look good. Right over here, there's a bunch of ground straps. So that looks suspicious. Obviously, you know, you wanna have good grounds. We have a leaky brake caliper, probably why the brakes go to the floor. And you can see the tire has fluid all over it. These tires are so old anyways. I think this one right here is from like 2001, so they're pretty damn old. The leaf spring is very old. A common upgrade, if you don't just replace it with a steel leaf spring, is go with the composite leaf spring, like what's in the C5s. Go back here, we got an exhaust hanger that's cracked. I don't know how that happened. The exhaust is weird. It's dual, then it goes to a single, and it's a fairly skinny pipe. And then it gets bigger again, it goes dual again. So instead of having like an X pipe, it's kind of like an X pipe. It's a little different though.
It's kind of like two Y pipes.
And then over here, me and Lenny both thought that this thing would have like a TH350, something that came stock in this car. No, it's got a 4L60, which is really cool because you get that overdrive gear. So that increases the value right there. This thing's a full-blown like resto mod that was like abandoned like the last 20 years. We got leaks on leaks on leaks. We got one catalytic converter on this side and none on this side. The power steering lines are dry rotted. I can see some cracks in them. And as a result, the entire thing is just drenched in power steering fluid. So that's something that, you know, we're gonna have to take care of. You know, the ball joints look okay. That's good. It's leaking, it's actively leaking. I just saw a leak. So it's got green coolant, which isn't the right coolant for LS's. You want the orange stuff. We got trans cooler. This is the trans cooler line right here, super jank. just a hose with a clamp over a threaded piece. More leak from the radiator. Maybe it's one of the hoses, or maybe the radiator's cracked. We'll have to check that out. We're missing the front air dam. Pretty important on these cars. It helps bring in a lot of air to the radiator.
Yeah, guys, to be honest, the way that this was put together is just, it's really confusing because these are a lot of nice parts. Aluminum radiator, you got dual fans, you got a nice all aluminum LS1. It's just the execution was so bad. Like, I would love to know how this came about. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was done in a garage. Maybe it was like a personal project. They just cut so many fucking corners. So we're gonna have to undo a lot of this garbage, but it's got the bones. It's got the building blocks that we need to build a badass hot rod. So next up would be the engine, because there's no point in fixing brakes or suspension, tires, wheels if we got a bad engine. So as you guys know, the first thing to look at an engine's health is to drain the oil. So let's drain the oil and take a look and see what we're dealing with here. Because if this thing is super metallic-y, we may have to pull the engine, may have to get a new engine, may just need to abandon the whole project. I don't know. Let's drain it. I mean, it's pretty fucking dark, but it doesn't look that bad. I don't think I saw any metal chunks. To be honest, like, who knows when the last oil change was in this car. For how long it's been parked. This could be 10-year-old oil. Oh. Hey guys, adding in the new oil. But overall, like, pretty happy with how it looked. Much better than I was expecting. Not, you know, any big metal chunks or anything. We do a lot of Beamers on this channel. Well, when you do a Beamer oil change, you can't pull the dipstick out. Luckily, this isn't a Beamer. We are perfect. We might have overfilled it a tad bit, but that's fine. Okay, so currently, this is what we're up against. You put the key in as a locking steering column, which is kind of cool. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. I don't hear any noises. I don't see any dash lights. Do you think the windows work? No. I don't know what this is. We put a jumper on the battery. It didn't make any difference, so I don't know if there's some wires loose somewhere. I mean, the battery, like, might just be that far gone. So I think it's just probably a good idea just to replace the battery. So that way we can at least rule that out. And then if it still doesn't start or crank, then we'll have to start tracing wires back. But the fact that we don't get anything is kind of concerning. So let's pull the battery out and go replace it. Okay, we got to remove this battery. It's like a side terminal situation. It's very odd. Okay, so that was literally the terminal that was holding the leads onto the battery. So there's just one negative there. Okay, there's both terminals. Okay, there we go, guys. Let's pull this thing out. The battery that we pulled out of the Corvette is absolutely gunked in fluid. So I don't know if this thing's been leaking in the car. Really should be wearing gloves touching this thing. So we're gonna go junk this and go get a nicer battery from the store down the street. Okay guys, we just got back from the store, got a new battery. Let's put it in. Ew. That's gross. Okay, let's connect the terminals. Okay guys, we put a new battery in the car and we put some fresh oil just to be extra cautious. Now I'm gonna put the key in and we're gonna see what happens. I'm kind of nervous. Okay, I definitely just heard the fuel pump. That was definitely the fuel pump. We got no brakes. It's all the way forward and park. I don't want it to like lunge forward. Okay, you ready? Should I just crank it?
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's blown. It cranks.
Sounds like it has compression.
Yeah, we got compression.
Starter's really fast. It's got like a healthy starter in it. Here, let me try one more time.
Do any of the gauges work?
No, I mean, not as of right now, but the engine's not running, so I don't know. Ooh, the volt gauge works. It says we're at 10 volts right now with a new battery. I don't know if that makes sense.
Does the gas gauge work?
I mean, it says it's stuck all the way at F, so it's saying it's full, but we're gonna have to check that. I don't know how old this gas is. I don't know, maybe that could be our problem. I don't know, let's take a look.
Or if it even has gas.
That's true. Yeah, we probably should have checked that. Here, let me see, I can stick a camera down here. Okay guys, we got our little borescope. Stick this in the hole, see what we can find.
Let's hope it's not all rusted out.
Oh, okay, so see that shimmer right there? If I shake the car a little bit, yeah, that means that there's fuel in it. And this stuff looks pretty clean. Doesn't look all lacquered up.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Gas in California goes bad really fast. We have a jerry can. I'm gonna try to add just some more fresh fuel. So worst case scenario, you know, makes it better. I don't know. Seems like a smart thing to do because it lacquers up. So let's get some fresh gas in here. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Add some fresh gas. Should we try it again?
Yep.
Dude, I want to hear this thing fire so bad.
Nothing still.
That's gotta be something else. I'm not really sure why. So here's the coil harnesses. These are plugged in. Looks like, you know, all the injectors in there. Injector plugs are plugged in. It's got all 8 spark plug wires. I mean, there are a lot of like random, like loose hoses in this engine bay, like right here. But I don't think any of that would cause it. Maybe it's a huge vacuum leak. I don't think so. The ECU harness is here. I already checked the fuses. I mean, that's fine. See, unfortunately, I don't know what any of these fuses do because it's not labeled, but we should just check them real quick. Yeah, all the fuses look fine, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably not electrical. I mean, I literally heard the fuel pump. I don't know. I'd say, let's give it one more shot. Maybe the fuel just had to prime. Third time's the charm, hopefully. Ready?
Yep.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh, we got something.
It had like one little pump.
It like sputtered for a second. What could it be?
So you put gas in it. We hear the fuel pump prime.
It's got fuel.
It fired. So
And then when we were cranking it sounded like it had compression. I mean, we didn't do a compression test, but
it's got enough compression to fire up. So the only thing I could think of is fuel or spark. Could be the fuel injectors.
yeah.
Or
but
it could be the coils.
Yeah, the chances of the injectors going out, especially all 8 of them.
Yeah. So let's.
I mean, spark. Yeah.
We could pull some spark plugs and check them and see if we notice anything. Maybe these coils are out.
I mean, this one looks really crusty, but this one looks fine. Here.
They look old.
Oh.
They just broke.
I don't know if that was the problem, but oh, it just fell apart. Look.
Yeah. They look pretty cooked.
Really didn't want to put any more money into this to get it running,
We
but
can't reuse that, can we?
no, I don't think so. Can we resell this?
Let's just do plugs and wires.
let's
pull them out, see how they look.
Yeah,
maybe
you know what? We really should look at plugs. Let's pull a plug.
Let's check the plugs. Maybe they're wet. Go from there.
Okay, we're gonna pull a plug and see how it looks. Probably should have started with this, to be honest. It wasn't in that tight. Okay. Ooh, Jesus. Look how oily it is. Look how black it is.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It's also a massive gap on it.
Here, well, let's measure that gap. An AC Delco, the threads are absolutely covered in oil. A lot of times that's just because of the valve cover gasket leaking, but let's check this gap. 80.
That's crazy.
80. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna run right with 80. That's insane. They're super black, which means it's running really rich, or it ran really rich. So let's just do plugs and wires, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we found these laying around. These are actually some spares from when we did the LS swap in the Jag that we never ended up using. I'm not really sure I think they'll work. LSs are all the same. The LS and the Jag is a truck motor, but this should still work. And then went to the store, picked up some spark plugs. So let's finish pulling out all the old shit and replace these. I'm assuming the coils are working. I mean, LS coils typically don't go bad. I mean, they do, but it's pretty rare. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Jeez, dude. Ooh. Okay, here goes another one. Another pretty bad gap. Okay, just got the last plug wire out on this side. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's like a lot of soot on the base of this thing right here. So, I mean, that clearly looks burned.
I know this isn't a carbureted car, but with most carbureted cars, you know, They say 99% of carburetor problems are really ignition problems. So it's very important not to overlook ignition, especially with all the heat that engines make, and you got engine swaps that weren't designed, you know, a specific way. So you have maybe excess heat under the hood. Over time, it'll cook all your electronic components. It's always good to do a quick little tune-up, avoid a lot of those pesky problems.
There we go, just pulled another plug out. Greasy as all. Ooh, that's not good. Look at that one.
All gunked up.
Yeah guys, I just pulled one of the other cylinders out. This thing is completely gunked up. So that is not a good sign.
Okay, it's time to put these wires on. Everybody knows that red means more performance, more horsepower. That's something I love about LSs is because they have the coils and they're like kind of cut to length. You don't have to, you know, route spark plug wires all around, and kind of just goes in place nicely. There we go. We're all tuned up. Hopefully that's all it was.
Okay guys, plugs and coils are completely done now. The motor looks a hell of a lot better. I'm gonna try to crank it right now, and hopefully it starts this time. Here we go. Oh, you hear that noise?
Yeah.
I feel like a flapping.
I hear a bunch of different noises, like a grinding and then a flapping.
Started. Dude, it started. The engine runs. We have a C3 Corvette with a running LS1 in it. There was a lot of bad noises there, but it runs, and it ran like pretty smooth. Okay, let's do it again. I think, you hear like a ticking, right?
Yeah, I heard something.
That's weird. Oh. Third time's charm. You hear that whistling?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I can smell the exhaust leak coming out of this. Oh, you hear that? Oh, I can actually...
Making like a noise.
Only when I rev it, listen. Right there. Heard it?
Yeah, I heard it.
Here, turn it off. So I definitely hear some noises. The whistling might just be from like the belt or a pulley. It runs really smooth, so that's the good thing. I definitely heard some like metal on metal sound. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard something. It sounded like some like valve train noise. So we should probably inspect that.
Well,
but that means that all of this has got to be removed.
Like we could just like say fuck it.
We could, or we could just check real quick
But
before
luckily,
anything blows up.
we're used to Beamers on this channel. With Beamers, usually getting like valve covers off, especially on modern Beamers, is so difficult. But like, this is about 10 minutes to get this valve cover off. It might be worth checking the rocker arms because it is a known issue on LSs that rocker arms basically, they have a bunch of needle bearings in them. And over time, the thing like starts to loosen and the needle bearings will just vomit into the engine and then your engine blows up. And I don't know how many miles are on this engine exactly, but when I kept the rev about like to like 1,000 RPMs, I could hear like a clanky metal on metal sound.
I heard it. It sounded like it's coming on this side.
It sounded, I don't know which side it was on, but I heard it like it was valve train. It was on the top. I don't think it was anything down below.
Let's pull these things and take a look, because I heard something shaking around.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just, I guess, pull these valve covers off. But guys, let's not discredit the fact that we now have a running LS1 in our Project Barn Find C3. I knew when I saw it, like it may look barn find like it's been sitting for 30 years, but this is still a modern engine. And I knew it wouldn't take, as long as it wasn't blown up, wouldn't take that much work to get it running. I would say right off the bat, this project has already paid for itself. We have a pretty clean, even though it's, you know, needs paint, pretty clean and straight C3 body with a 4L60, assuming the 4L60 is not broken, and a running LS1. I mean, a running LS1 with a transmission is like $5 grand. It's pretty hard to buy them. So I would say, like, as far as the flip aspect of this build, we are in the clear. But obviously I want it running in tip-top shape, and then I want to drive it. So take these valve covers off. So first step to get down to the valve cover on an LS is to get off these ugly ass coils. So it's just 4 bolts that hold this big bracket on. Look at that, 4 bolts. This will give me an opportunity to clean this up, but there you go. There is the coil housing bracket with harness. Easy stuff. Okay, so it's just 4 more bolts to get the actual valve cover itself off. Basically 8 bolts to get a valve cover off in an LS.
Do
Look how much better it looks without the coils.
I know. What's cool is Corvettes come with this little tool tray right here. This huge pocket you can literally put tools in. Oh. There's the valve cover. Dude, that doesn't look that bad. There's your rocker arms. The rocker arms don't look terrible. The rocker arms are bone stock. So a really common upgrade that people do is that they do the trunnion upgrade, because what happens is these have needle bearings inside of them and they explode and then they blow up your engine. And these look stock to me. So while this side doesn't look that bad, we're gonna open up the other side because that's where we heard the noise. But right off the bat, definitely want to get upgraded rocker arms. That's kind of like a #1 LS thing to do. Okay, I took the bolts on the other side out, and here's this set of coils removed. Okay, and then same thing. Ooh, that one was really loose. That's not great. Okay, second side. Valve cover looks pretty clean. Luckily, none of the needle bearings exploded. These have a ton of varnish on them, and the things that hold the needle bearings in, some of them are starting to pop out more than others, like the casing that holds it in. They don't look amazing, and the reality is, some of them have a little bit of play. We're already at this point, valve covers are off, I'm looking at the rocker arms. The reality is you really should upgrade them, it's super cheap. So I think we're gonna put an order in. Let's get the rocker arms with the trunnion upgrade already installed, basically eliminating the possibility of those needle bearings coming loose. And I think that'd probably be a safe bet. I don't wanna take any chances, and I definitely don't want this blowing up on the next guy. So let's do some preventative maintenance. Okay guys, it's been a few days. The rocker arms should be here later today, but before they get here, I wanna see if this paint is salvageable. Now, obviously, there's like some primer spots where like, I don't know if someone did body work or what this is, but a lot of the car is like still black shiny paint, but it's just so fucked up. So we're gonna take a few minutes real quick. I wanna tape it off and see how shiny can I get it. Can we revive this paint or am I screwed? Okay, I'm gonna tape off a little section just so we can more easily see the difference. And there's like a huge chip right here. So like, I know some of that stuff is just gonna be, you know, once I get touch up, it is what it is. Let's see how nice we can make it. Okay, we're gonna start with, this is a wool pad on like a spinny thingy. I don't know what this thing's called. And then this is cut compound. A little goes a long way with this. You don't need to use a lot. And you just wanna spread it around. Okay, here we go. Okay, so after 2 passes with cut compound, I mean, look how shiny that is already. I mean, just with literally like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's insane.
Of buffing, look at that. So like, there's still like, you can see like, I need to go deeper here. There's like a little mark that didn't come out.
Here, pull the tape off.
All right, let's do it. Mind you, I haven't even like done any swirl mark remover. I haven't done any polish. This is literally 2 passes with cut compound. Dude, look at that.
Yeah, that's a big difference right there.
Holy crap, hold on, let me wipe it. Look at that line, look at that clear line. Look how much darker it looks. I think this might be salvageable.
Yeah? Most of the car.
Screw it. Let's buff the car. Let's see how much black we can bring back out of this thing. Okay guys, I just got done. Quickly buffed the car. I really didn't even go over and polish it too much. That's gonna have to be at a later date, but just when we take it outside for the first time, I wanna see how nice we can get the paint. But it's time to move on. The rocker arms just arrived at the shop, and let me show you. So our friends at Michigan Motorsports really hooked us up. We were in a pinch because this thing was on the lift, taking up space, and we had to get this thing running and on the ground and fix that noise as soon as possible. And Michigan Motorsports saved the day really, really well. And they sent out some new rocker perches straight from GM. These are pretty sick. These are kind of just where the rocker arm sits, and you could replace these in case they ever get worn. And the actual new rocker arms. Look at these bad boys, guys. So this has the trunnion upgrade. So like I mentioned before, the stock ones are known to literally explode inside the engine, and you get all those little needle bearings to just spit out, and then usually they get clogged somewhere and they blow up your engine. Where this has circlips on both sides with a much better design. So there are still needle bearings in here, but they can't escape. So nice and super buttery smooth. Also came with a bag of new hardware. So, and if you guys work on LS engines, then you know this is one of the easiest things to do. And by far one of the most important things because it can save your engine from exploding. So, let's get it done. Okay guys, our first rocker arm is out. Yeah, this thing's fucked. Guys, this is the first rocker arm we pulled off. Listen, listen. That's me putting it up and down, and you could literally see the thing moving. So we're gonna check all the other ones, but yeah, first of all, this does not seem good. Look, you can see the needle bearings in there. They're all there, so that's good. Here, let's check another one. This one's worse.
Yeah, it's not supposed to move like that. That's fucked.
Here, check the new one. Check one of the new ones.
Here's the new one. Yeah, no.
No movement at all?
No.
Yeah, so I think we found our problem.
Yeah, the guy told us it had 80,000 miles, but you know, you can never trust anything anybody ever says. Just go ahead and assume that it has, you know, double, triple the mileage. Okay? Let's replace these.
Let's take a closer inspection. Okay, here we go, guys. I removed all of the passenger side rocker arms. So that's how it goes in. The push rods push on this side. This pushes on the valve. Okay, so some are definitely worse than others. Like, a little bit of play might not be the worst thing in the world because it is just a bunch of needle bearings. But so, like this, that's not right. Here is the new and improved rocker arm assembly. Let's go ahead and install it. I cleaned out the head, and we're gonna put a drop of assembly lube on all the touch points.
Okay, all the rocker arms are nicely secure. They're not torqued down yet. We're gonna do that, but we gotta get access to the front of the engine so we can turn it over while we do it. So we gotta remove this crummy intake system that's on, which doesn't look like it's doing much. There's tons of crap in it, and what do you know? Look at that. There's absolutely no filter in it. So far this engine's just been running with no filter. That's not good. You want a filter because you don't want shit jumping into the engine, you know, clogging stuff up. Luckily, the only filter this engine does have is right here on the MAF. So there is like a little bit of a filter, but that's not, you know, good enough. Okay, now I can get to the big crank pulley, and now we can start turning over the engine and torque these down.
Okay guys, torquing the last one down right now. Okay, there we go. I officially tightened them all down. So in order to torque these down, it is like the easiest when it comes to Chevy small blocks because there's no lash. You don't have to set any lash. So all you have to do is make sure you're on the base circle of the camshaft, which is like the opposite of the pointy part of the lobe. Torque it down to 22 foot-pounds. It's that simple. They're all done, so we can officially put valve covers back on and start this bitch up. Okay guys, so while we were fixing and diagnosing the knock, that whole entire sequence, starting and stopping the car this much, literally, look at the ground. Look how much power steering fluid it leaked. Now, I did fill it up a little bit. I didn't know it leaked this bad, but we clearly have some issues here that we need to resolve because what happens is the power steering is so high pressure. If you drive this thing when the exhaust is hot and it bursts the line, your car's gonna catch on fire and probably explode. So we don't want that. And if you guys take a look right here, the line on the pressure side is completely cracked. I mean, that is super dangerous. I don't know if it's a really old line or what happened exactly. So we're gonna replace that because even taking this thing out on its test drive, I mean, I don't want this thing to catch on fire. Let me pull this thing out. Okay, I'm taking this one wheel off so I get better access to those power steering lines. Oh, this wheel is trashed. Look at this thing, dude. This thing is absolutely trashed. Bummer, these are pretty cool wheels. Oh man, what happened to these rotors?
They were used.
They were very used. They're like thrashed. Lip's really not that bad though. Probably get a few bucks for this on the Facebook Marketplace. So here is the feed line that I removed, and I'm trying to get this return line off. The return line is a lot less pressure, but it's also still pretty cracked, and I should replace both of them. Okay, let's put the car down and remove from the top. Well, that wasn't fun. Very tight in there. But there is the feed line for the power steering line. And if you take a look, looks like it was two different lines. So maybe one from the car that the LS came from and then one from the C3, I don't know, to make this the combobulator. So I gotta get this new, so that's gonna be fun. But look how bad this thing is, dude. This thing is toast. And here is that return line. Nice and messy. So the return line's low pressure, that's why I was just holding by a hose clamp, but we gotta replace this too, because this thing, I mean, look at that. They used like 2 hose clamps. This thing is so jank. I don't know who put this car together, dude, but they did not know enough about cars. So let's start looking at part numbers and see how we can replace this. Okay, it's tight. New power steering lines are on and they are tight, so we're good to go there. And as you can see, it's a very dirty car. It used to leak a lot. Hopefully it doesn't leak anymore, but let's move on to the next thing.
Okay, the rocker arms are done. Before we start the car, I wanted to try to eliminate any other noises. So all the obvious exhaust leaks we took care of. So right here, these are the 2 collector flanges. As you can tell, these gaskets are completely cooked. This one was hanging out, causing a terrible ticky noise. We replaced the ones on the engine themselves. See all the black on it? That's the exhaust leaking. Going up along the side of the head. It's just falling apart. So brand new. The radiator cap was so rusted. You can see it just completely fell apart. Just completely toast. You know, went to the auto store, got a brand new one. Luckily with LS stuff, you could get parts like anywhere. But you know, while we're diagnosing things, it's nice to get rid of the easy things. Remember, it's process of elimination to help rule out any obvious noises. So we did that, did the rocker arms. Now we want to make sure that this engine has oil pressure, so we put a little $20 mechanical gauge right into the spot where you put an oil pressure sender. Obviously the gauges in the car don't work, so that's what we're doing right here. We need to see it, and I want to route this in the door. I think we're just gonna go like this. This is just our temporary fix until we make the gauges work. It's usually a circuit board in the gauge that goes bad, so just for now, this is where we got our oil pressure. Let's start it up, see if we got rid of that noise.
Fire in the hole. Oh, that didn't sound good.
Whoa, dude, this sounds so much quieter now.
I don't hear the ticking noise anymore. So, could have been an exhaust leak, could have been, you know, the rocker arms. Obviously, there was way too much play in them. They needed to be replaced anyways. So, I'm happy with, you know, what we got. We got an LS swap Corvette, Dirt G. I love these cars so much. They're so cool. We still have to check the brakes though. Okay, we got the engine running. That's all good. But this car has no brakes. When you're inside the car and you push the brake pedal, it goes all the way to the floor. It's got all gas but no brakes. So we got to figure out what's going on. First thing I'm going to do is check the master cylinder. Well, there's a problem right there. We only have fluid for the front brakes, no fluid for the rear brakes. So I think you know what that means.
Okay guys, I can't believe it. T-tops down, we are in the Corvette right now. I'm officially a vet owner. The LS so far is running sound. There is a little squeal. I think while we fixed some problems, we developed some new ones. Maybe the idler pulley might need to be replaced. Not a big deal. But holy shit, this thing is unlike any car I've ever owned. This is a very small car with a very small interior. I mean, my head literally is above the roof line. This was not made for big guys. But needless to say, when you look out over the hood and you see the big wheel arches, I mean, you feel like you're driving a Stingray. That's how this was supposed to feel. And it's a crazy experience. And with that LS engine, you just put your foot down and I'm just going. with how light this car is, and you know, an LS1 stock only makes like a little bit over 300 horsepower, so it's not anything crazy, but because this thing weighs nothing and the whole body's fiberglass, I mean, no problem, just puts you back in your seat. And guys, this is really a special moment, you know, here on the channel. This is a car that Noah bought early on, before Backspeed Boys was even a thing. Now we're here, full circle, LS swap C3 Corvette. We're officially driving it. This is an amazing feeling, and it's such a fun driving car. The brakes still need a lot of work. I mean, look, I can slam on my brakes. It locks up.
Okay, here we go. This is very special for me because I sold my C3 back in early 2021. So here we are 4 years later, back in the driver's seat. Get to see those big old arches. And we got an LS, what I always wanted. And whoa. The best part about this car is it didn't actually come with an LS motor. It came with a very choked out small block that made like 180 horsepower. The speedometer only goes to 85 miles per hour. This thing was built for speed, but just got the worst motor in the history of Chevy. And now it's got an LS in it. So it could do all kinds of fun shit like this. Back in the driver's seat, I get to see the big old arches. They look great. You know, this was an insane car for me back in the day because this was my daily driver. And you probably have guessed by now, you know, a 40-year-old car is not gonna be the most reliable. So there was plenty of times where I broke down, you know, had to get somewhere, had to get to work, and I'm breaking down in my old beat up Chevy Corvette that I bought for 1,700 bucks, a 1979 model, and it was clapped. But it doesn't matter. If you're gonna break down in any kind of car, this is the car you wanna break down in because it is so cool. Like, just not even moving, sitting there broken, it looks phenomenal. It's got the body lines, it's got that long hood. This thing looks like a crossbow on wheels.
Okay guys, we did it. We successfully bought a barn find LS swap Corvette for dirt cheap and got it running in a few days. Wasn't that much work, and we have a badass Corvette project car that we now get to finish on the channel. This thing already rips massive donuts, and it is so fun to drive. I took a step away from the Euro world and I got myself a Corvette. And man, I couldn't be happier. This is my first Chevy that I've ever owned, and I don't regret it at all. Make sure to comment down below, what do you think of this build? What do you think we should do to it? Should we keep the motor stock? Should we just do wheels and tires? Should we lower it? Leave your comments down below on what you think we should do with this build. And don't forget guys, go to our Patreon if you wanna help us pick our next project car, and make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video and you like this kind of content. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. I gotta go do more burnouts now.